seems as if all that needs to be said has been said and very eloquently said. And I really want to thank the members of civil society for the work that they do and continue to do. I hear that for those who run long distances, because I often wonder when I see these young people running 20 kilometers and so on, the marathon. But I hear that from the science of it, when you start running, there is what is called a... I haven't tried it, but a second wind comes when you start getting tired and you don't stop and you continue. Somehow the system renews itself and you have enough energy to continue. If you want to try the marathon, please try, but maybe just start with 10 kilometers. I say so because we have said, and the INEC chairman has made the point very well, this whole undulation, we're up, we're down, we're up, we're down. We think we have done what needs to be done, and then every election leaves us in tears. But I want to thank the chairman of IPAC because he was able to say some of the things that we ourselves have forgotten. Namely, I think we've become such a very cynical society that whatever Nigeria does and does pretty well, we feel that we are reluctant to acknowledge. But there must be, if it is that you are trying to say that, look this way, INEC is trying. To say that INEC is trying means that INEC has paid you money. And yet we cannot progress like this as a country. So I also want to encourage you in INEC to improve on the quality of your engagement. You have perhaps one of the best communicators in this field, Mohamed Haruna, who has become a bureaucrat now, but I'm sure he's been on this field for the last 40 years and so on. I think you really need to sharpen the tools of your engagement and continue to engage Nigerians on some of the things that you're doing, but also have the humility to accept that our grudges and our grievances are not born out of bad belly. They are born out of a genuine concern that these processes must work well. If we follow PDP, we still owe PDP 44 years. Because somebody said they were in power for, 16 years? Well, they wanted 60 years, so they've done only 16. We still have 44 years to make them... They are hoped to govern for 60 years. They did only 16. So they still have... But please, these things all these things you see, don't be afraid. Okay, there's no party that cannot be defeated. It's a question of strategy. Those who read the Bible who are Christians, even if you are not a Christian, you know the story of David and Goliath. People say that David saw Goliath and thought that he was too big for him to miss. So I think it's not the size of the fight, but the size of the man in the fight. So we must know that, one, this is our country, and have the patience that this process, if we continue to improve on it, those coming after us will have a much better country. We admire other countries, but what we forget is the things that they experienced over 100 years ago. Although Nigerians always like to say, are we going to wait for 100 years? No. I think we are making progress in many respects. The very fact that we are still standing, and that there has been no editorial, to the best of my knowledge, of somebody saying, let the military come back. Whatever stories you hear about Kukah, I don't know, soldiers are here. But it is to say that Nigerians are expecting a lot, and legitimately so, from politics and the political class. So let's continue with our work. We continue to encourage them. When we have the opportunity, we let them understand that they owe us an obligation. We did not vote for them to enjoy on our behalf. We vote so that our lives will measurably improve. So I want once again to commend you, Chairman of INEC. You have, please go to the Bible, go and read the Bible and read the story of this man called Joash. It's not Joshua, it's Joash. He is the product of a coup that was organized to eliminate all his brothers. He is the only one who survived, and survived because he was hidden somewhere. So I think you have come out to try and deal with the problems of INEC. So please, our prayers are with you and all those who work with you. We have heard everything that you've said. We will try and run your errands as best as we can, and we'll make sure that the National Assembly and those in authority hear the concerns that you have expressed. As you can see, I'm not General Abdusalami Abubakar. I think if my friend Mohammed Haruna were not on the other side, he has worked with General Abdusalami, he should be the one, but he's already gotten a good job with INEC, so he can't be here. But I'm standing in for General Abdusalam, who actually agreed with us on this date, and we had everything all sorted out, and he was due to be here yesterday. But I then got a text from him to say that the weather hadn't been favorable to him, and could I please stand in for him rather than, because I was asking whether we could schedule this event, and he said no, he thought we should go ahead. So I'm reading these short remarks on his behalf, but I also send you his greetings, and we pray for a quick recovery for him. Distinguished representatives of the Independent National Electoral Commission, honorable service chiefs and heads of security agencies, leaders of political parties, esteemed, vigorous and vibrant members of civil society, members of the National Committee, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to warmly welcome you to this important stakeholder briefing and the presentation of the annotated peace accord. It will be done by the staff of the Kukah Center. And this is largely because it's largely in response to the cynicism often expressed by many people who wonder what the Peace Committee really is all about. There is an increasing feeling, which is unfortunate, but which we must work on, that maybe what we are doing, we in the Peace Committee are just wasting our time because people, our critics are saying, these people have they're not serious, they have no intention of doing anything. So why are you people just watching them in spectacle as a part of a game? Because the politicians who are signing this accord have no intention of living by the word of the accord. But my response as a priest is to say that I'm invited very often by a young man and a young woman who declare that they want to get married. And I go there, and the churches are full. So when a young couple decide to exchange their vows, we go through the ceremony, but we don't leave the wedding, we don't leave out the promises for them. So we have a duty to encourage our politicians. So when they sign the accord, it is not the business or the responsibility of the Peace Committee. It is the responsibility of all Nigerians, media, civil society. So I think it is against this backdrop that we have this annotated peace accord that, as you will see from the presentation, seeks validation by referring us to the various areas in our Constitution that align with the letter and the spirit of the peace accord. Recent electoral experiences have highlighted both progress and we have made some challenges, but the challenges still remain. Issues of political tension, misinformation, security concerns continue to pose risks to electoral integrity and public confidence. These realities reinforce the urgent need for early engagement, coordinated action, and sustained collaboration among stakeholders. Our responsibility at the Peace Committee is to serve as sources of encouragement, encouraging INEC, encouraging the political actors, by doing so in good faith. Because since the 2015 election, the National Peace Committee has worked to provide a neutral and trusted platform for dialogue, mediation, and confidence building. And as I've often said, when we were set up in 2014, it was also to look at and ensuring that the 2015 elections to be peaceful, credible, and acceptable. And the Peace Committee, as many of you already know, came about as a result of the work of Kofi Annan, who showed so much concern against the backdrop of the elections that had led to so much violence in Kenya. I had never met Kofi Annan before. It was when he came to Abuja here that he sent for me and said he wanted us to set up the Peace Committee. And when we finished our work, we thought we were all going to go home. It is actually to this same hotel that we convened, to say goodbye to one another, so to say, because we were tasked with just helping to make sure that the 2015 elections were free, fair, and credible. And they were. And when we gathered here to say goodbye to one another, we thought, I whispered to General Abdul Salam that it would be a good idea for us to listen to the media, listen to civil society, listen to the political actors, because as they say, the eye cannot see itself except by reflection. And when we met with the media and civil society, all the way, we met with President Jonathan, we met with the leaders of the two political parties, we met with President Buhari then, and everybody said, no, the Peace Committee, you cannot go home, you must remain, because you did such a good job. And just for memory, the president himself, President Buhari, I'm happy that the secretary to the government of the Federation then, Babachir Lawal, was there. Because the president pointed at him and suggested that he should get an office for the Peace Committee immediately. That's what he said. In appreciation the work that the Peace Committee had done. And when we assembled here, I at least can say that one of the things I told General Abdul Salam is, no, we will not take an office from the federal government because of the consequences and the perception of ordinary Nigerians. I'm speaking off the record, but just to put our conversation in context, that we are here, we remain here largely because of the sentiments of Nigerians. When we decided not to take an office from the federal government, it was because we wanted Nigerians to have confidence in the work of the Peace Committee. And you might ask, so how have we been surviving? It is here that the European Union literally took over the responsibility of holding our hand, guiding, supporting, encouraging, and making it possible for us to continue to do the things that we do. So the Peace Accord has served as an important instrument for promoting accountability, reducing tensions, and encouraging peaceful conduct. We therefore hope that political actors will see the responsibility of signing the Peace Accord, actually that they will see it as a commitment publicly made to the people of Nigeria to help in deepening democracy, and that in every competition somebody must win and somebody must lose. And that through the signing of the Peace Accord, we submit ourselves and assign to ourselves a duty and a responsibility to imbibe the discipline that goes with building a political culture. So this meeting provides an opportunity to reflect collectively on the current electoral environment, to hear directly from key institutions, and to identify practical areas where the committee can provide strategic support. We want you to help us figure out the area that you would like the Peace Committee to lend its voice, because the deployment of the moral authority of the Peace Committee draws largely from the integrity that our chairman also possesses, and all of us, the members. We are more than happy to lend you our voice in pointing out to INEC, in pointing out to security agencies, in pointing out to the federal government the things that the federal government and other agencies need to do in order to help to make our elections credible and acceptable. So we have no adversarial intentions towards either the police, the military, INEC. Our responsibility is to continue to encourage Nigerians. Our hope and prayer is that whatever we do today, those coming after us will find a route that is much more comfortable to travel on. So, finally, the responsibility of safeguarding our democracy rests with all of us. We can't outsource this obligation to anybody. No matter the laws, INEC can only conduct free, fair, and credible elections depending on how we conduct ourselves. So none of us should consider ourselves as innocent as we always want to pretend to be. So the human heart must also change. The laws themselves cannot guarantee us, they only create a condition. A third road is good for cars to drive on, but the drivers must be disciplined, because if they are not disciplined, third roads become sources of accidents. So I want to encourage you, the National Peace Committee remains faithfully committed to working with all stakeholders, all of you, civil society, the security agencies, INEC, for the advancement of a peaceful, stable, and democratic Nigeria. I thank you very much.